Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of the Bengals NFL show. I'm here with my good friend Logan Vaughn, and this is a mailbag edition. So, we're going to be answering all the questions you guys sent in. With that being said, let's get right into it. We have a question about Trey Hendrickson, and I'll read off the question here. It's why was Trey Hendrickson so productive, and how can you repeat that effectiveness?
I can start here. I think I have a really good reason. He's got a motor like no other. I mean, you've seen it in the Chiefs game, in the playoffs. He was gassed. he came off the field, but he left it all out there, and it ended up, working out. And then obviously there's Lou Anarumo. He's got all these tools to call him Ludini for a reason. He's got the secondaries he gives him time for one. And he's not alone on the defensive line, even though when he goes out, it gets a little scary. But when you got DJ Reader and Sam Hubbard and all these guys, makes your life a little bit easier.
Yeah, and I think something else is he's such a technician. He has a wide variety of pass rush moves, and you see it. It's effective. Like when you have that versatility, the tackle doesn't know what to expect, and with that versatility, there's only so much the tackle can do when they have to be in specific sets. If you're great at countering, let's say, a true pass pro set, may not be the best example there, but there's simple counters that can go against the tackles in certain sets. So I think that also helps.
For sure.
Now, our next question is, what is the best Bengals home game to go to this year?
You want to start this one?
All you.
I think it's got to be, week 17 against the Bills? I think that's right.
That is not right.
16?
I'm trying to find it.
Either way, I think that's going to have big playoff implications. And you got Josh Allen coming to town, Stephon Diggs coming to town, all those guys. And I don't think they're going to lose that game. A little sneak peek to my record prediction here. I don't think they're losing that game in front of Cincinnati with playoff seeding in sight.
I agree. So that was my answer as well. So for the sake of conversation, I'm going to change it. The Chiefs is too much of an obvious answer. I'm going with the Browns.
Ooh, that was my second one.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff we don't know about the Browns yet. Will Deshaun Watson be suspended? If so, is Baker Mayfield traded, or will he just refuse to play? And Browns fans have been talking to the talk, and they have beaten us, even though week 18 last year it was practice squad versus practice squad essentially. But the Browns do have a winning streak against us, and being able to finally beat them, which I'm confident we will, especially if Deshaun Watson doesn't play. That would just be a feel-good game, a relieving game to go to, enjoy, and then you'll be able to shit talk Browns fans, and that's always
What is Burrow, 0-3 against them? A little fire under the belt for him? Yep.
Absolutely. So next question. So we have a few about Jessie Bates. One asking, do we re-sign Bates or do we lose him? If he does get a contract, what would the size be? Those are the questions we got about Jessie Bates. And this is still a very difficult argument to make because as of now, all the signs point to him not re-signing. He's not at the workouts, and we don't know if he'll be at training camp or not. But as many of you have probably seen, he was in Vegas with Chidobe Awuzie and Joe Burrow. So he still obviously has communication with the team. No, I guess morale has been lost in any of those aspects. So, but obviously the Bengals, they drafted Daxton Hill, which I still don't think had anything to do with the Jessie Bates contract situation. I think they just like the versatile player. But the Bengals do now have another safety with high upside. So that certainly does play a part now. And it's just I don't think the Bengals want to pay over $20 million to a safety. Minka Fitzpatrick just got paid $20 million, I believe. And I don't think the Bengals want to match that or go higher. I think they set their cap at, let's say, $18 million, and Jessie Bates didn't want that. Then the Bengals are just simply going to let him walk because they're just not comfortable paying. And in addition, you got Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and then in a few years, Jamar Chase. The market keeps going up, so that is certainly something to keep an eye out for. And I'm sure the Bengals are thinking of that when it comes to re-signing players.
I agree. So I keep seeing on Twitter, people will say, well, they should just worry about now and not worry about the future. But it's more complicated than that. You got Jonah Williams too coming up probably in the next few months. I think.
Then next year we're going to have Jermaine Pratt,
Logan Wilson. They all are coming. And my opinion of this whole situation is Bates wants to be here and we want him here, but the business aspect's probably not going to let it happen. Maybe 4 years, like $64 million, maybe gets it done, but his agent's going to want guaranteed money. And I think they did draft a bunch of defense for stuff like this because I think they want to have all their money built around Burrow, and I think they're going to keep drafting defense for years to come.
Yeah, and what they did so well, going off topic a little, is, like I kind of alluded to earlier, the versatility of Dax and Hill. And they drafted a lot of players. While, for example, Cam Taylor-Britt's going to primarily be corner, he can play safety. He can play too high. And like I said, while I doubt he's going to do much of that, you have that versatility in case there's an injury.
And Anarumo shows a lot of looks too. And I do want to say, as you know, I'm a big Michigan guy, but if Daxton Hill is expected to come in and do what Jessie Bates did in year one, it's not happening. It won't happen.
Yeah, Jessie Bates didn't become one of the best safeties his rookie year or even year two. It was really year three where people's like, oh, he's better than we expected. He was in the top 10, but now he's top 3, as he deserves to be. But yeah, we can't expect Daxton Hill to walk in and suddenly be one of the best safeties in the NFL. That's not how it works. Heck, even going on the other side of the ball, but Joe Burrow's rookie year, he was really good for a rookie, but he still had mistakes. He wasn't Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, you got to give him time. He's going to make mistakes.
He's got all the tools. Just leave it at that.
Absolutely. He's going to be fun to watch, and I do hope he gets a lot of snaps this year. I think he will certainly get a fair amount, but I just wonder how much they're going to put him in, and it's going to depend on packages, situations.
There was someone on Twitter I was talking to, and I was like, you got him and Mike Hilton being able to blitz off the edge the way they do, like, some of this stuff's going to get creative and fun.
That absolutely is. And staying in the secondary, we got a question about Eli Apple and Cam Taylor-Britt. Who takes more snaps between the two?
I want to say Taylor-Britt because I love him. I love his film. But I think they're going to stick with the continuity here, go with Eli Apple. He knows the system. I don't think he was as bad as people point him out to be. Social media had a field day with him after a few bad reps in the Super Bowl because everyone's watching. But hopefully he's got Jessie Bates back behind him, helping him. He's definitely got a bunch of young guys. He knows the system, like I said. And I don't know. He's a vet. I think Cam Taylor-Britt, is next year's his job.
Yeah.
He'll let Eli walk.
Yeah, I think we're going to slowly but surely see Cam Taylor-Britt get more snaps per game as the season goes along, but he is a rookie, and as we were talking about earlier, rookies aren't going to be perfect their rookie year. They're going to make a fair amount of mistakes, and Eli Apple starting kind of gives Bengals leeway to help develop Cam Taylor-Britt, not put too much on his plate and letting him develop the speed they want.
And I do think if an injury were to happen, Cam will be fine. He'll be just fine getting thrown in there.
Yeah, completely agree. And like we were also talking about earlier, that's why they draft so much defense. They really want to have depth because injuries can sometimes just ruin a team's line, secondary. And the Bengals have done a really good job these past few years by adding that depth. So when there is an injury, it isn't as big of a deal. Can't say that about the other side of the ball, but
yeah,
that's what they've done so well. So, another question. Is Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase the best duo in the NFL?
Let you go here.
I want to say yes so bad. I definitely think they're top 3, but I don't know if they're one yet.
I don't either, and I don't really know who it is.
Me neither. It's just, how exactly do you measure that?
I don't know, because, I mean, from strictly those two together, it's like, I don't know if any numbers go against them. Adams isn't with Rodgers anymore. Tyreek's not with Mahomes anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough. They're top 3. I'll say that.
I don't, like you, I don't know who is number 1. Personally, I don't. You could just simply go off passing yards between the two, but I just don't think there's a way you can really measure that, honestly. But that is a fun, like, Twitter argument.
Yep.
Who's better? And
a lot of situations.
Oh, yeah. And who knows? Maybe Derek Carr goes crazy with Adams. I'm a big Derek Carr fan. He's certainly not the best, but I think he's a bit underrated, even though he's always been talked about, mainly because of the how good is he arguments. But I think he could have a really good year. Like, heck, there was so much crazy stuff going on with the Raiders last season, and he stepped in. He led them to the playoffs.
And he's never had
out by Jermaine Pratt with a glorious interception. Absolutely, but hey, we all know that feeling.
Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about it. And he's never had a Devontae Adams, not even close.
Yeah. All right. Next question: a simple record prediction, and this is also the last one we got in our mailbag.
So, I have them sitting at, I believe it's 12 wins, but they start off, because I have, for the Cincy Chronicle, I'm 8 games through, and they're 7-1, and I'm sticking to that, because they have to start hot with the way the schedule lays out. In my opinion, the back half is super tough. It is a lot of home games, but you got, I mean, I know we're 2-0 against Mahomes, but you got Mahomes coming to town, Josh Allen, there's divisional games, obviously, and I don't know. I think 12-5.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards 11-6. I think, like you, they're going to start off the season really fast and hot. But, we see it every year. There's always one game they lose they shouldn't. Last season, it was the Jets. Still can't believe we lost the
fight. I think that's the reason we do beat the Jets this year. The sole reason. Yeah. No sleeping on the Jets.
Yeah, I doubt it's. You obviously can't predict that, because when they don't lose the games, they look really good. Yeah. I just have a feeling there is going to be that one game where you're going to lose, or
and I don't
there's an injury.
I really don't want it to be Pittsburgh, but that's a game that the Steelers somehow they did it to week 1 to the Bills last year.
That's true. I doubt the Bengals will overlook the Steelers, though.
They won't.
Just not that guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm going with 11-6. I think the ceiling, which I highly doubt we'll get there, is 13-5. But I think, or 13-4. Sorry.
There you go.
And the floor is really low floor, but 9-8's the absolute floor. Bearing injury to Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. And some news, which it looks like it's not that big of news, but Jackson Carman swerved and hit a pole on Highway 71 in a black Charger. Now, that was a few hours ago, and the fact that there are no updates makes me think nothing was too bad. It was just an accident, no injuries, but said he was going speeding and swerving. So Jackson Carman, once again, even if this isn't even really being reported on by media that much, has a story that makes him not look like a great guy or a mature guy.
I don't. Yeah, I haven't seen it in the news, but that's another bad way to get your name in the news, Jack.
And
79.
for his sake, hopefully it doesn't really get picked up, because honestly, if there's really no injuries or anything, it's just an accident, then there's nothing to report. All the media can say at the worst is if he was driving like an idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, appears everything's okay in that aspect. But Jackson Carman certainly not helping his character right now. There's still the whole unsolved mystery of that dating that 15-year-old when he was 18, a freshman in college, which I think is absolutely disgusting. But there's still a lot of unknown of that, and I don't know, maybe it happened a while ago and a story just leaked, but he's certainly not getting the best looks media wise, and that certainly will play a factor into the left guard competition. And I honestly don't think he's going to win it. I think Deontay Smith will. But
I'm a big Deontay Smith guy here.
Yeah. We sometimes agree on stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you make yourself look like an idiot in the news and you start doing it more, like, yeah, accidents happen like today. Players sometimes do stupid stuff. That doesn't mean they're bad people specifically, but when you keep doing stuff reported by the media that is poor for them, then it's not a coincidence. That's a sign of consistent behavior. And the left guard spot's really the biggest question mark on the Bengals. Just not offense, but the whole team right now.
Oh, yeah.
And like, it's good that there's a competition, make them perform their best, so they're a little more ready. You get the best out of everybody, but who knows what their best is, because Jackson Carman looked pretty dang bad last year, and even if all the negative media coverage doesn't play a part or it gets resolved, there's nothing to indicate that he's any good right now.
Kind of sticking to this topic, I wanted to say the additions of Collins, Kappa, and Karras are obviously huge, and we talk about them all the time. Like, obviously not us, but Bengals media does. I think this offense should be top 3 this year, and it's going to really show what Zach Taylor's made of. Because everyone said it last year, and I think he really, showed up when it mattered. And the 49ers game was a big coming out game for him. But there's so much on film that it's half a second away, 1 second away. If Burrow had one more second, if Mixon didn't get blown up by one guy in the backfield, he'd have 10 yards. Like, all this stuff, and I just think that just became a strength of the team, whereas last year was a weakness.
And I think for Joe Mixon, he's the biggest winner in this upgraded offensive line. In his whole career, he's had to deal with really crappy offensive line play. I don't think he's ever had even an average line. Now the offensive line's a strength. He's going to highly benefit, because we see it a lot. He makes no yard runs to 4 yards, or a -2 yard run to 1 yard. So now you give him more space. His agility is really underrated. His strength, I wouldn't say it's underrated, but it shows. So yeah, if you give him more space and he's not getting hit in the backfield like you alluded to, he is going to be really dangerous.
Sometimes it looks like he's outrunning his legs. This is his only weakness. And I think the first play of the year is a run to the right side. He's going to run behind Kappa and Collins first play.
I'm ready to see Collins maul somebody over.
Oh,
Imagine if he just mauls TJ Watt.
TJ Watt first play, double team him, just push him over.
Put him in his place.
Yep. Early and often.
Yeah. And as of now, there's really no other Bengals news other than Jackson Carman, which you can argue to not even be news. So with that being said, nothing more to talk about. Logan, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you guys follow him on social media. What are your handles?
Instagram, I believe it is Vaughn 09, and then Twitter is Vaughn 20, and that's all Bengals on Twitter. And mostly Bengals on my Instagram stories. I don't post on Instagram much. But yeah, follow me.
The L in Instagram's for loser, right?
Right. It's a loser that hates Ohio State.
You have one win and you don't know what to do with yourself.
Hey. But I love Sam Hubbard and Eli Apple and all these guys though. So
yeah, the Bengals do certainly have a lot of Buckeyes.
Yep.
And just saying, I don't like when Ohio State fans take credit for Joe Burrow, but he did graduate at Ohio State. But obviously his football's legacy is at LSU.
Hey, fun fact, I was at the game when Barrett got hurt and Burrow did not go in.
Yeah, I remember my stomach dropped.
Well, rest in peace, Dwayne. He kicked our ass that game.
Yeah, I'm so sad still, Dwayne Haskins. I absolutely loved him at Ohio State. Mm-hmm. I wanted the Bengals to draft him. Thank God we didn't.
Right.
Yeah. I just couldn't figure it out. May he rest in peace.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was fun. Let's do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you all follow him, and I'm sure he'll be on the show again.
Plenty of times.
Thank you guys for watching. Give a comment, like, subscribe, share with your friends.